Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're diving into the drama and controversy surrounding the Indiana Fever, Sheryl Swoopes, and the coaching shakeup that's got everyone talking. Swoopes has been vocal about the firing of Christy Sides and the return of Stephanie White. But is she backing her friend, or is she just out of touch with reality? From questionable coaching moves to fiery accusations, we're going to break down what's really going on with this team and why it's time for a change. Let's get into it. But before further proceeding in video, please make sure to subscribe for more WNBA updates. We know it takes some of your time, and we appreciate it.
And now it's about becoming not just a great player, but becoming a great leader for this team so that we can win not just a championship, but championships. And what does that look like?
The players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like...
Sheryl Swoopes is stirring things up with bombshells after receiving a tough reality check from none other than Stephanie White. As you all know, Sheryl doesn't hold back when it comes to speaking her mind, and she's been non-stop accusing everyone of treating Christy Sides unfairly, her best friend, and the former coach of the Indiana Fever.
And for the most part, I totally agree with you. I think Christy did as good of a job as she could have.
According to Sheryl, Sides was let go for no valid reason, and the entire firing was a huge injustice. But wait, it doesn't end there. Swoopes is also claiming that Stephanie White doesn't deserve the head coach role. Really, Swoopes?
They're all hungry to grow and hungry to improve and hungry to be coached and hungry to win. And when you have three foundational players and your big three that have that mindset, have that mentality, and great things can happen.
Here's some advice for Sheryl. If you don't want to be roasted by the entire Indiana fan base, maybe keep your enormous nose out of others' business. Honestly, nobody asked for your opinion, and you're just digging yourself into a deeper hole. Now, let's break down how we got into this mess, shall we?
So are you surprised by Caitlin Clark and the Fever's improvement since the Olympic break? 20 points, 8.4 assists, 6 rebounds.
That's crazy.
But 5.6
Those are hell of a number.
Those are hell of a numbers.
But to me, that's not dominating.
Sheryl Swoopes thinks she's playing the hero by defending Christy Sides, but let's face it, she's just embarrassing herself. She acts like Sides is the second coming of Pat Riley or something, but all she's doing is making herself look delusional. Christy Sides was fired from the Indiana Fever for one reason and one reason only: she wasn't good at her job. Yet, here's Swoopes holding on to her like a lost puppy, as if defending a subpar coach will somehow make her a coaching expert.
You know, what is going on in their locker room? Like, this Aces team is falling apart. This is not a coach that I would want to play for.
Stephanie White's return to the Fever has Swoopes acting like it's some shady backdoor deal, but in reality, it's the smartest move the Fever could make. White isn't just some random coach trying to sneak in and take over Sides' job. She's been with the Fever since 2011 and even served as head coach before. Under White's leadership, the Fever made the playoffs and even won a WNBA championship. But sure, Sheryl, ignore that because it doesn't fit your narrative of poor Christy. White knows the Fever inside and out, and her return was the obvious choice. She's Indiana through and through. This is her home turf.
Christy Sides, you should take absolutely zero responsibility for the growth that this team has shown.
And then there's the whole Connecticut Sun situation. Of course, Swoopes wants to twist White's departure into some dramatic scandal, but it's really not that complicated. White left Connecticut for personal reasons, not because she was some failed coach seeking attention. Swoopes loves to make things more dramatic than they really are, but the truth is a lot simpler. People leave jobs for various reasons, and trying to turn it into some big scandal is just lazy storytelling. But we all know Sheryl can't resist turning everything into a drama, so of course, she sticks with her version of events.
You know, what she goes through on a daily basis, she carries a heavy load, right? With our league and with her abilities, certainly. But where we are from this tipping point in the WNBA.
And the fans? They were split on White's departure from Connecticut. Some were upset, others indifferent. But once again, Swoopes can't let a little nuance get in the way of her drama-fueled narrative. She wants us to believe it's some grand scheme to steal Christy's job, but the reality is White's return is a logical, grounded decision for the Fever's future. No amount of emotional rambling from Sheryl is going to change that.
It's really exciting. I mean, certainly, you know, you think about Kelsey Mitchell, and she's been through the lulls in the Indiana Fever franchise, and now to be on the other side of that, as a cornerstone. And every team has a big three, right? And you think about having a great wing like her, and a great point guard, and a generational player in Caitlin Clark.
Bottom line, Swoopes is too emotionally wrapped up in this drama to see the bigger picture. She's so focused on defending her friend and making the firing about politics rather than performance that she's ignoring the obvious truth. The Fever needed a change, and Stephanie White's return was exactly what they needed. Meanwhile, Swoopes can keep playing the victim, but the truth remains simple. Christie sides didn't deliver, and the Fever made the right decision. Sorry, Sheryl, but sometimes supporting your friend means acknowledging when they didn't get the job done.
Managing all of the craziness, all of the Caitlyn mania, all of the hype, all of the media. There was just so much that came with that.
The reality is, under Christie's sides, the Fever didn't exactly light up the league unless you count how quickly they were extinguished. They were a mess. The team had such a bad record that fans were practically begging for her firing halfway through the season. But sure, Swoopes, keep telling us sides, was doing great things. The Fever barely scraped into the playoffs, and that's supposed to be impressive. It's like getting a participation trophy in a high school talent show. Nobody's impressed.
Not take a timeout if her life depended on it, while the other team was, I think at one point this year, there was a 21-0 run, something ridiculous by an opposing team, and she failed to call a timeout. Nonsensical substitutions at all the wrong times.
Now, I get it, Swoopes wants to defend her friend, but let's not pretend she doesn't know what's going on. Christie sides didn't just have a tough roster. She was just bad at coaching. Let's talk about timeouts for a second, or rather, the lack of them. When your team is getting demolished, you call a timeout. It's basic coaching. Instead, sides sat there like she was at a brunch with friends, completely unaware that her team was being obliterated. The opposing team went on a 21-0 run, and what did she do? Absolutely nothing. That's not just bad coaching, that's negligence.
Behind closed doors, those team bonding exercises, that's good for an HR person, but that's not good for a head coach. You need to actually coach.
She benched Caitlin Clark at the worst possible times. A coach with half a brain would know that when you have a player that good, you let them play. But no, Sides was too busy playing musical chairs with her roster, pulling out the best player when the game was on the line. It's almost like she was.
All we do is have fun. With Caitlin Clark, we never take anything serious. Like I tell people all the time, she's really a kid at heart.
The Fever needed a change, and Stephanie White's return was the right move for this team's future. Sometimes, supporting a friend means acknowledging when things go wrong, but it seems like Swoopes is too tangled up in the drama to see that. This was all for today. Thanks for watching.